Because today I don't trust anything. All right. Okay, Restream thinks we're connected. That's a good start. YouTube thinks we might be connected. All right. And let me just listen in for a sec. All right. Okay, Restream thinks. All right, we have audio. I don't know if it's that good. Since OBS just ate all my sound settings and wiped out 5 microphones worth of configurations and filter setups. I don't know why it did that. A bunch of other things were broken when I started up today. I have no idea what's going on. And Twitch thinks my bitrate is unstable. Why does Twitch think my bitrate is unstable? Let's have a quick look. Restream thinks everything is good. Twitch thinks my bitrate is unstable, but I'm also offline. I don't know how those two things can be true at the same rate. Okay, now it thinks I'm online, but we're still unstable at 10 kilobits per second. I also don't know why we're suddenly at 10 when we used to be at 2. I have a feeling my setting that was supposed to be just for recording somehow... Ah, no, I changed it to 10. Okay, well, let's see. Let us see. And YouTube... Let's see. Stream settings, stream health. Here we go. It just says healthy. Doesn't tell us anything. Oh, wait, but... Don't we have stats for nerds on YouTube on the client side? Let's see. Does that mean anything? 45... Oh, no, that's connection speed. All right. What is the bitrate of our video stream? So if I wiggle this around, that should eat up more bits, right? All right, and we've dropped 34. That's not too bad. Does it tell us what the bitrate is of the stream? Connection speed, network activity, buffer health. Apparently, network activity is 0 kilobytes. Okay. It doesn't give us a bitrate for the stream. That's odd. You'd think that'd be an important piece of information. Huh. Alright, well. Let's hope for the best. As per usual, welcome to Code Hangouts number 204. Sorry if things are a bit rough today. I don't know why OBS fell over its own feet. And let me know if there's any issues, technologically speaking. Today, I'm getting back to a little something known as actually getting some work done. So today I'm working on some layouts, some custom layouts for Project 9x9. And I do want to look at a quick thing before we get started, which is the infamous double slash issue. So there was an issue with double slashes in URLs getting wiped out, and I added some code to try to fix them automatically behind the scenes. But now they're hitting my test puzzle, which... One second, where are these open? Which isn't actually in a URL, right? So I have the Doom exploit test puzzle. Let us see if I can get a local edition to run. Here we go. Yeah, so on my local server it works. And it's kind of weird because... Oops. Because... Let's restart this. Because the data doesn't travel over the URL at any point, right? So now let's look at the same thing happening. I think alpha is the one. Yeah, so this should be working. This one does. This one doesn't because it has a double slash issue, right? Now, it happens in the puzzle patcher. The problem is it's not happening locally, so it's super hard to debug, and I don't know why it wouldn't happen locally. So let's have a check in the puzzle patcher. We're gonna have to look on production because staging has the fix now. Although, I'm guessing we can also... because it should still affect it even if the puzzle doesn't work, right? So Doom Exploit 2 should be the one that doesn't work. But of course, locally it works, so... So online, even the fixed version doesn't work. Okay, so this is going to be super annoying and confusing to track down. But what I can do at least locally is I can get the unminified version of the puzzle patcher working. There's something weird. Weird sound pressure in my ears. It's supposed to be a monitor. Is this not monitoring? Hello? Hello? This is not monitoring my microphone. What the heck? Which is the main reason I'm using this headphone. Why does that suddenly not work anymore? Oh my god. Let me see. Blue Yeti. Properties. Levels. Let me see. Is this... God damn it. Hardware monitor. Because one of the reasons is that the live monitor... I can do live monitoring and it doesn't have any latency. And right now I'm not getting any live monitoring and it's driving me crazy. Slightly active live monitoring as it didn't exist with the original. What is it about the Yeti? Because I think there's a blue software. Maybe it's a Yeti setting. Blue Yeti software download. Sorry, I'm completely discombobulated. Why are things suddenly not working properly anymore? Where is the software download for this thing? Is this now? Oh my god. Can I have to go through Logitech now? Is that really it? Oh no. Ooh. Is this G-Hub? Is this something I have? Oh god. I don't want G-Hub. There used to be old software from Blue before they got bought by Logic. I can't believe it. Well, what a start. What a terrible start. Why am I'm so hot suddenly? I've got an AC behind me, but for some reason I'm just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It's the stream stress kicking in. Yeah, this is not working anymore. Okay. Blue Yeti enable self-monitoring. Is there something I have to do on here? Because I can switch on live monitoring in Windows, but that will have latency. Wait. Oh my god. Why? And how did I not look at... I was looking at this. It's right here. Okay, alright. I'm back. I can hear myself. Alright. Oh, or at least I don't hear myself with a weird pressure in my ears. Okay. Alright, alright. Let's also get our GitHub up to make sure I'm not messing around with... that. We can discard that. Alright, so we need to look at getting the unminified version of the puzzle patcher loaded. And the puzzle patcher is basically a little magic tool here for basically massaging the puzzle data for this link at the top. So we're gonna run this, and I don't know why this, like why it works locally and why it doesn't blow up. No, I have no clue. All right, so it should be running through the same code either way, right? So let's go into Puzzle Patcher and let's see. And I'm gonna have to make this a bit bigger because there's a lot of code to look at. Let's get this just a line on the left edge here. So we have fixed slashes here somewhere. All right. Let's first make sure this is getting called. And it's not. So I have a feeling. Ah, wait, it's not, maybe not in FPUS. Wait, this is not FPUS data, it's SCL data. It's here. I'm wondering if there's something about the patcher that's being disabled here. If I click on that on localhost, because for reasons, I suppose. If I look at this, right, where is this getting called from? Here, Sudoku.html. I'm editing the production one. Okay, we got to be careful about which one we're looking at. Okay, there we go. So it's running both of those. I was looking at the wrong one. Gonna have to be careful. So we're gonna look at production. This is production. Patch fpus. Why does it run patch fpus twice? Puzzle package. Yeah, so this, it should never kick in. Ah, wait, we're doing exploit 1. We need to exploit 2. Okay, so it runs it on the original URLs. They'll exit out, and then it'll hit patch fpus here. But we're going to exit out of that one. Okay, so let's put that behind the return, just to verify we're actually in the right place. It'll take a moment. Patch SCL puzzle. Okay, so now this doesn't run the slashes code, or does it? It doesn't run it here. Let's search. Which one are we? We're supposed to be looking at production, right? So let's search only here. And I think we are running the unminified fpuzzles decoder. Okay, so let's have a look at that one as well. And let's see if that actually is getting called. It's getting called here. And I don't know why this gets called multiple times on the online version. What's different between my... Okay, so I could publish this onto alpha. The problem is right now, for some reason, the publish command is taking forever. Even though with rsync, it shouldn't take very long. I think it's this one, right? Deploy. So if I go... so if I do production to alpha, right? And that'll take forever because it's deploying, 4 gigabytes of puzzle data. So let's see if we can just sync only the HTML files, right? Or the code files here. So we don't want that. We just want to do the rsync from production to alpha and say rsync 1 level only. Can I avoid recursive? Something. Parsing allows you to specify that triggers the inclusion and exclusion of files and directories. I think you want to do something like this. Explanation, F triggers archive mode. Yep. F is short for filter, which adds the filtering rule. The pattern inside the single closes that shell does not expand wildcard still goes. Okay. What if I only sync sudoku.html, sudoku.html specifically? Or better even, if I just SCP this. If I just use SCP. That should do the trick, right? So if I do this, that should just copy that one file over. Okay? And if I copy that one and passpatcher.js, so I have the logging there. And I feel like my background music is too loud. Let me know how you feel about the music, if it's too loud or if it's just right, etc. Okay, so now, if I'm going back to the alpha URL, and I'll do this, and I'll look at this, it's not refreshed. I think that should clear the cache. So we're gonna restart the alpha service. Like that. And now, okay. So what's happening? We have a blank line here. What the hell? Okay, that's not right. So if we look at this, where did that blank line come from? Okay, that's not right. No blank line here. Okay, let's re-upload that file. Don't know how that happened. So that's, where's this file? This file is production API /puzzle /puzzle/Sven/doom exploit 2. All right. So let's rerun that. Okay, well, that's an easy explanation and an easy fix. Okay. Open in new tab. Okay, if I restart it. Now it's corrected. And hey. Okay. That's all it was. Okay, excellent. This is very, very good news because it means I don't have... Okay, that's right. I don't have to actually... There's not an actual bug. I somehow screwed up the data. Okay. I think we can literally just revert all of these. All right, discard all changes. All right. And we'll just redeploy these two files. Not here. Right? And we'll do that. And we'll also deploy this to production. Did I restart already? I don't know. To production and to beta. Make sure I don't have the broken file lying around in different places. Okay. Okay, so I can probably then deploy beta to production to fix the bug, and I have a backup on alpha with the bug still in thing. Okay, excellent. So we can close this, close that, close that, close that, close that, close that. That's done. Nice and easy and quick. Oh. Excellent. And we don't need that. I don't know what happened just now. Well, that's fine. Okay, and we can maybe that away, close that, stop that, and close that. And I probably don't need that. Excellent. Okay, so we can now look at the new layouts. And we've done custom layouts. We have done some custom layouts testing before, so now we gotta set up all of these. And I gotta get my head around this a bit. So this could be a bit complicated and I could be a bit confused. So please bear with me as I try to figure all this out. So Full Deck Missing a Few Cards have kindly screenshot all these settings. And I gotta get my head around how the original setting stuff was working. And if I'm gonna, I probably want to put this into beta. So I'll probably want to deploy the beta hotfix to production right now. Which means we'll need to do a release, which I believe happens either here or here. So we probably want to do npm run make release. E. All right, version update, and that's the fix. No, it's still just the version updates. That's the entire fix, yes. All right, that's pretty much it. And the last release was this one. And that'll be 59.1. Bum, bum, bum. All right. And I gotta refresh my memory on how to tag in Git, because I don't do it often enough anymore. And I probably should put that into the script as well. So we want to do git tag. I think it's -a -m, right? Or git tag, just list them, right? Git tag -a v 0.590.1 -m v 0.590.1, I believe. Right, and now that should be tagged, and the tag should kind of look like this. Okay, and then we want to deploy the tags with a git push origin the 0.590.1 and git push origin tags. Okay, and then we need to deploy production. Not from here. That would be too easy. And before we do that, we're gonna do a sneaky little test. So we're gonna do run test production. And that's on sure. Let's do a demo killer puzzle. Okay. Make sure it's all running. I don't think we need to yeah, I mean it looks fine. All right. Let's do the release. Here we go. And now with that fix deployed, we should be able to test that this doesn't error out anymore. Okay. And this doesn't work. Exactly. I mean, it's an invalid link, but that's fine. The link still breaks, which we should probably fix as well. But for now, I think this is safe. Okay, so that's deployed. We do want to do a test online. Let us do today's guess puzzle. I don't do a lot of just puzzles on this streams anymore. Nope, not on this browser. Here, please. Here, I want my chat open. In case somebody accidentally stumbles into here. All right, so let's put the console open in case something happens. Let's see. Non-statistical rules apply. The digit in each circle is the average of the digit on the attached arrow. Okay, 3 digits. One is a 1, huh? Average of 7. Average of 3 with a 6 in it. If I have 1 and 1, that's 8 divided by 3. No, we want 9. Divided by 3 would be 3, right? So that's got to be a 1, 2. For this to be an average of 8, we want to have these 3 add up to 24, which means 7 and 8, which means that's a 7, that's an 8. I'm just going to check to make sure my logic here is correct. All right. So these 3 need to add up to 6, and one of them is a 1. All right. And then these 3 need to add up to 21. One is a 4, which means the other ones are 8 and 9. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, and 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. And these are 1, 2, and 6. These two, the average is 8. No, the average is 4. All right. And these 3 are 4, 8, 9. These 2 are 12. The average is a 6. All right. And 1 and 4. I'm flying through this today. 7, 8, 9. 7 on here. Can't be an 8. 7 plus 9 is 16, and the average of that is 8. Half of that is 8. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, that's 4. So that makes it a 2 here. And these 2 are 3, 7, 9. So these 2 need to add up to 6. So 1 plus what is 6? 5. And we have, no, not 4. We have 6, 7, and 9 here. Okay. 1, 3, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 6. 1, 5, 6. I don't like these. Oh, ow, ow. I flipped my ankle earlier today, and my foot is kind of aching. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's down here. Okay. And then these are 3, 5, and 8. Okay. I'd like to get this circle if I can. That would be helpful. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 5 or 7. So if we have a 5, these needed to add up to 10. If it's a 7, these would add up to 14, which we can't reach with a 1 there. Okay. So I think that should resolve the rest. 5, 1, 6, 3, 1, 3, 9, 4. So, 1 goes here. This is gotta be a 6. 2 goes there, and 5. There we go. All right. That's our smoke test. Make sure nothing's on fire. Okay, and let's quickly check if alpha still has the bug. As per design. Doom exploit 2. Hey, there we go. All right, I'm gonna post that on Discord. Just a little bit of fun. All right. All right. Good times, good times. So now I'm gonna close all of these because all these tabs have been weighing on me for a while. I don't remember what this one is for. Oh, I think. So I think if I refresh that now. Oh, is that an unrelated exploit? Are you kidding me? Is this an I thought yeah, I didn't even check it. I did not even check this one. So this is an unrelated exploit. Ah, okay. Check hover link exploit. All right, let's make a note of that. Let's just make a little note of that. Annoying. Doing that. Doing that. Doing that. I should have really put the Doom into... I should have updated the puzzle to have links to the original Doom source in the description, all that other stuff. But I'm kind of in a rush. All right, so don't need that anymore. Don't need that. I'm gonna keep... No, I'm gonna close all of these. Okay, so now we gotta review the project 9x9. Is it 9x9 project? So I think they're currently using the custom layout. So if I click on this, no, they're not. Okay, I gotta find my custom layout work in progress link. That's somewhere. Or I just do this. I'll grab this one. I think this might be what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is a custom layout that I've made for project 9x9. And I gotta remind myself how the custom layout stuff works. So, is it under... Do I have a feature project 9x9 or do I have a feature custom layout? Custom colors. Feature UI theme. And I gotta make sure I'm now gonna switch back to staging so I don't mess with the wrong branch or folder. It's not really a branch, is it? So I'm just looking for here we go, project 9x9. So I think it's this one. I'm gonna make it a bit wider. Need to figure out this code situation here. So I think handle init, we do this dot start. If I do something like console.warn project. What's it called? Feature project 9x9.start. Right? And if I go in here and refresh that, it should do this. And then we're doing toggle layout 9x9 true. And loaded. So one of the issues I have is that currently I have like one proof of concept. I haven't really designed it for multiple layouts. So I need to now basically have ways of reconfiguring this in many different ways. So mostly what this stuff does, it sorts out this in a hard-coded fashion. So this is a lot of work, actually. It's not super simple. And we have basically two aspects to it. We have the custom layout stuff, but we also have a custom settings set up here. And I think in this case, it's justifiable to mess with the user settings, but I almost preferred if it wasn't. In the future, it might make sense to have sort of a multiple settings, like a settings domain, because I can change. Maybe it makes sense to actually change the full prefix, because all settings are stored, which is the small concession to concession to doing things properly I've done. I need the application thing out of there. Let's move this over to here. So everything related to SudokuPad should be prefixed, except the progress, which is actually good in this case. So I think they're being prefixed in this case with Sven codes. So if I change the prefix to Prog 9x9, it should have a separate way of doing setups. Now the problem is this happens relatively late. Let's have a look where the framework has its prefix stored, and if I can even modify it, or if I need to actually change how that works. Because it could be a constant, but I don't think so. I think it's it's not that. It's this local data prefix. So the first time local data prefix is being used. Oh, I made it a function. That's kind of nice, actually, because I can just simply do this and figure out where this gets called from. So I can do framework dot yada yada yada, and I can put that there, right? So when we refresh this now, we'll see this happens fairly early on, but this might happen even earlier. Yeah. So if we change that here, right? And then we'll change it. Do something like that. And now all the settings should be brand new. Except none of these are actually getting used here. Huh. Project. No, there we go. There we go. Okay. So we can do this, and then we can have a custom set of layouts. We just have to make the layout check here. So we don't do the init here. We'll do the we'll do handle init, handle early init. Right. So we can move all of this into here. And just do this. Or we do it in create. Create new C framework with app, add feature. Goes new feature dot add feature. This returns. It doesn't return at all. I do this. Then I can do this, create, and then handle early init like that. Right? So now it's not a function because it's not on the prototype. Oh, wait. Feature new constructor. Then handle early init should be here. Because this is async. But we're not doing an await in here, so this doesn't need to be async. Now if I do await, can I do that? Unexpected identifier. Let feature equal feature. So that should work. Await is only valid in async function at the top level of bodies or modules. Okay, that's kind of annoying. I mean, we can just put it in here. Actually, we can just put that in there. Right? So we can literally just do that. I mean, technically, we don't even have to put it in here. We can literally put it in the constructor. So, we can just put that in here. Boom. Okay. And for now, we can just do that straight up. And that switches it over. Cool. Ooh, but then we have one early request. Super early request. Oh, no. Okay, that's this one. All right. Yeah, okay, so that never executes with the initial. Okay, so we're preempting all of that. Okay, cool. Sweet. Okay. So we know we can manipulate all of these. Let's bring this one. Let's bring this one in here. Actually, no, because there's a reason I had these separately. Because I'll probably want to keep the spreadsheet open. And the tab is so small. At the same time. Okay. So we now want. No. So we basically have this layout, right? And I need to figure out what happens here. This dot in its settings. So unfortunately, all of these are sort of quite customized. Forced settings. Oh, I actually do have we do actually have all of this. Oh, okay. So we basically need to build a system. Hey, myself, how are you doing? We need to build a system where I can specify 8 different sets of settings. Okay. Default settings, except where noted otherwise above. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these and see if we can just like mess with that, you know? So for example, one is with center marks. What would that look like, right? So currently, we're doing this. Check, select, normal, remove. Check, select, normal. Set tools, normal, false. Set controls. Controls, remove control button. Add app buttons. App controls, find controls. So we have set controls, nothing. Oh, okay. Now it's coming back to me. Oh my god, this was ages ago. All right. So we have functions that set a certain set of tools. So we now want a function kind of load layout, for example, right? So we want to do something like p.load layout async function layout, boom, right? And then we basically want to move all of this into load layout. And then we'll have that, and we have a whole bunch of stuff. So we want to do that, load layout. And then we want to pass in all of this stuff that we're using here. Right. And then basically replace this with that. Handle loaded, loaded, this dot handle loaded. What does this dot handle loaded do? Handle loaded, init title, setup. Yeah, so I have to be a bit careful. Some of these functions were probably custom implemented. So I'm seeing a couple of things. So we basically have a class. So for a second, let's do this, right? So if I do this, this should look like the standard site with standard tools. Good. And now let's say this dot load layout. And we're going to pass in something like this. We'll do the class name will be this. Style sheet will be this. Right? So now when we're running this, right, we'll get a class name and a style sheet. So now if I basically use this information inside layout to basically replicate these lines, but now use the data passed in. So we'll do this and say class name or just name. Or no, class name is fine actually, because they might have to be quite special. And then layout dot style sheet. And now we're back to having our blue style, right? And then we'll go through these one by one. Init menu. Okay, we'll see how we're gonna. So init controls. So it'll have this. Remove control button. Check select. Set controls, set tools. Okay. So we'll do controls is an empty array. Tools is this. All right. So that brings in these two lines. So that's layout.controls, layout.tools. What is the second argument? Refresh false. Okay. Then at the end, we'll do refresh controls like that. I probably can do this. And that took out some of these buttons. Okay. So, check select normal. Check select normal. Remove control button. Set controls. So, wait a second. So, set controls. Use app button. Remove control buttons. Okay. All right. Remove controls. So that would be this list. And that goes here. Layout. Remove controls. We'll do that. And that should now clean up these buttons. Okay. And then we have the refresh control. So that gets us to... Well, that takes care of init controls. Init settings happens twice. Init menu. What does init menu do? One sec. Let's so init menu. What does that look like? Init menu. For now, maybe we'll just make this one static, sort of the same for everyone. What does init settings do? And why am I running it twice? Oh, let's see. Init settings. For settings. So we basically want to pass these in as settings, right? So we kind of want to have settings, just an array of these things, something like that. And then we'll want to do it at the start. And it's running init settings twice. Controls, set controls, init settings. Settings. So let's make a new function called set settings. Settings. And we'll just do that. All right. So we'll do await this dot set settings. And it'll pass in layout.settings. I don't remember why I did it twice. I did it at the beginning once, at the end. Or after the controls, maybe to clean up the controls somehow. And the init controls, init controls. And then the end of that, it does the okay, because maybe we needed to... yeah. Probably to update the layout. Okay, so that should customize the settings or whatever test setup I had here. Now, init layout, what does that do? Init layout, handle resize, resize. App.resize, init layout. Ah, okay. 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 Okay, that updates the layout, moves that over here. Fair enough. What else is there? This one. I don't know why we're running that. Okay, so title updates and such. Okay, so that goes after here. Yeah, we probably don't want to even use that, because that might change in the meantime, right? Okay, so that replaces all of this with a single load layout function call. And now we can have more than one. So that makes sense. And this is, I think, perfectly identical or equivalent. So we have set init settings, set settings. Yeah, I don't think we even need init settings anymore, because set settings is the same thing, it just gets passed in. Okay. Okay, that's fine. And I don't think we missed anything else, right? We have init. Oh, wait, init menu. Init controls. So there's an init menu here. Well, I know what it does. I need to see if we need to adjust it between multiple layouts, right? So, init controls is set controls and set tools. All right, that's a little confusing actually. So we have init controls, not set controls. So init controls does a set controls, it does a set tools. So that's instead of init controls. And then it does the remove controls as well, and the refresh controls. So these four are our init controls. Okay, and then init settings is replaced by set settings as well. So we had init menu. This is basically the formerly init controls. And then init layout does resize refresh. Okay, so we can get rid of that. And I think we can get rid of init controls. And I think that should still work. Yeah. Now init layout just we'll just do a refresh. Refresh layout. We'll rename it to refresh layout because that makes more sense. And hand loaded kind of does that. All right. And that probably should happen first. Init title. Let's change it to update title. Okay. Hey, I see Mateus. How are you doing? So, that is the baseline for this. Except we have a timer, which we still need to get rid of. Okay. So now I need to actually see, can I manipulate that, right? So let's call this, let's give this layout a some sort of name, right? So const layout 1 equals that. Oop, that goes there. Let layout equals layout 1. And then we just say load layout, boom. And that should just load this. Bada big, bada boom, no problemo. Cool. Now let's create a second layout. Layout 2. Let's give this one a -1. This one a -2. Let's get rid of that dash and that dash. Oh, the classes. Do they matter? I don't think so. Yeah. So layout 2 now will just add one center marks tool, which means The main difference will be tools, normal, center marks, right? No. Normal candidates. Or is it center? I don't remember now. Right, normal. Given, no, candidates, all right. Maybe it's center after all. Is the removal here a problem? We're not looking at the second layout, are we? Here we go. Okay, so we still gotta do the removal, right? But now we don't want to remove the normal tool. Can remove, check and select. Okay. Okay, so the layout is different here. Is that style sheet? Yeah. So the style sheet here is designed specifically for the controls not to be on the right side, is it? Okay. Well, if I do this, then they're on that side. Okay, cool. We need to modify that style sheet. You don't really import it, you just open it. When you have a URL for a puzzle, you just go to that URL and that'll open the puzzle for you. If you want to create a puzzle from scratch, I highly recommend you go on the Discord for resources, because some of the tools aren't super easy to use, but the main tool a lot of people use nowadays is called Sudoku Maker. So SudokuMaker.app is a great tool for creating puzzles for SudokuPad. And then you just click open in SudokuPad. All right, so, or you talk about the mobile apps. Then you gotta go to a puzzle, not with a custom layout, and press the plain SudokuPad button up here. All right. Do you have a link for the puzzle? If you let me know, then I can help you along. Okay, so that keeps the things on the side, so I have to figure out which part of this messes with that. All right, let's make a copy of this here for a sec. Let's put it down here. So that removes or messes around with where that stuff goes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a second copy of this so I can more easily add and remove and just delete stuff from here. So yeah, top bar, we want to have that. Main color is changed. Let's get rid of anything that messes with the controls and buttons for now. So for example, get rid of all of these. Get rid of these. And see what that does. Okay, that keeps them on the right, but it doesn't seem to update the colors. All right, which part updates the colors? I think, no, wait. No, that's main color. These probably. No, that's puzzle rules. One of the button ones, right? Display none, margin left. You'd think it's this. Main color. If I do this. The color is main color. Main color is this. Somehow it's not accepting this. Style sheet. Control dash footer. Okay, fair enough. It should. Oh, yes. I guess we don't actually want to give these different class names for now. And we do need to get rid of the dash in the class name as well. We're gonna do that. Get rid of that and that. All right, so now the colors are back. And we got most of the stuff. We've got these buttons on the side now. So that would be kind of this layout, right? So then let's see what a third one would look like. Okay. So that means this style part of the style sheet, and I'm just gonna put that over here for a sec. We want to be able to share that across multiple ones. So that's always changed, except when, of course, when it isn't. Well, for now, I can just leave that here. That's fine. We're still figuring this out. So for now, I'm just gonna leave that here, and then I can just collapse that, and that's fine. That's our second layout. Right. Now, what we're not doing right now is switching the layers from up top. And I feel like we needed to do that because of the settings being loaded early. Do we want to have different settings for different layouts? Probably. So we'll probably want to get the current layout early. Get qs.get layout. qs.get layout. If I do that, what does that do for us? 9 by 9. Layout equals 9 by 9. Okay. So why don't we do a little function here? p.get param layout. And it'll just be basically this. And we'll just do that. And it's just like that. And we kind of want this on C, so it happens. No, that's fine. We can do it on the instance. Right, so then here we can see, and this doesn't need to be all warns. Right, so if I do that, I can do it here too. they should both be the same. Layout 9x9. Get param layout 9x9. Okay. So let's change this to project 9x9. Project 9x9. And then we'll do like a -1, for example, right? So cat param layout will be get param layout dash is that. And we need to check if it's a valid one. So we'll do an if we'll do something like that. Project 9x9 dot test this. I'll just do this actually. Right? So test true, but if it has an X at the beginning, it'll be test false. Okay. So then we can say if this is true, layout name equals that. We'll do that. And then we'll do that. And that. Right? Cool. And then we'll do the same thing in here. We can just do this and this and that. And we can just do that. And then later on, the layouts will actually be stored in a list of layouts, and we'll just check if it's in that list, and that's our validation. Okay. And now we can go back to here, and we can say let layouts equals, we can make it a hash of something here. And then we can call this project 9x9-1. And now that'll be this, and that'll be that. -2. And we'll indent them like this. Then we can do this. And then we can just do layouts, that, and finally layout. Boom. And now we should get this layout in here. And we can just do that. We can just say if layout, then await layout. Boom. Like that. Cool. So now that's the second layout, but not, oh no, that's the first. That's the second. Puzzle is not defined. 278. 278. Puzzle is not defined. All right, that should define the puzzle. Cool. And now we can do a third one. And what's the third one? It has corner marks instead of center marks. So we do that. So that's number 2. And then number 3 should have, should have corner marks. And then the next one, I'm guessing, is corner and center. So we'll obviously want to do a bunch of like defaulting and not recopy the whole thing. But at least this way, I know it works. We have a path forward, right? So we have corner and center. And center is spelled with the British way, because of course it is. So I wouldn't be consistent, now would I? And that's number 4. Okay. And then we'll go to number 5. And that's basically the same. Okay, so then we'll kind of go through all of these. But I think, okay, so we have a path forward. The settings is just probably most defaults, and I have to kind of go through them a bit. Never available editing the URL. Okay, so yeah, we still definitely got to figure out a way of getting this layout definition into the puzzle data. Always available, undo, redo, and check. So check here is being removed. And select, we probably need that for mobile support. So for now, I'm just going to have these in there. These are just going to be empty, like that. And we removed the normal control for the first layout just because it'd be confusing. Yeah, we have delete, we have select. How does it compare to the normal layout? Oh. Yeah, maybe we don't ever want to remove that, actually. Because then it brings the layout down to 3 columns and it makes everything a bit weird. So we'll probably want to keep it a 4-column layout. And I think that'll be all right. Before we go, because I started late. I was supposed to start earlier. It's already almost 9. Let us have a look at this weird one here. Like, how does this break everything? So, let's have a look at the puzzle data. So let's have a look at this puzzle data. Alright, so that's the rules text in this thing. And it creates... Ugh, it does a bit of space. Did I really rely on the space here? Oh, wow. Okay, that's a very simple... puzzles with non-unique solutions possible. A to B. And they also did the A to B to encode. So, what does this do? It does a clear action. Then it does that dot split. I mean, these are kind of fun to deal with, or to look at least. Okay, so we do that. Right. We do that. We do this. Ourselves. Close that one. Then we got this one. Then we got that one. That ends this function. And then this ends this. Okay. So what does it do? It just deselects action select parse cell. Okay. Clear value arc A. Okay, that's basically the same exploit. Sudoku Maker should definitely enable it. Yeah, there's a couple of different tools. Let me see. I have a GitHub page up with some links to different tools. I think it's this one. Let me see. Wiki. Yeah. So if you go to this URL, some more info on various tools. Because there's also F-Puzzles, there's Sudoku Labs, Sudoku Studio, there's a whole bunch. But Sudoku Maker is probably the easiest to use and the most actively being developed at the moment. Alright, so it's the same bug. So I'm basically gonna fix it by improving the fix that I did. I can't believe it. Anyway. So the fix happened in line 150. So I fixed it here. Wait. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait one damn second. Let's have a look at this. Am I public staging? This, it's not going through here? What? Is it maybe a different parsing issue? No, we have text to HTML. So we should be hitting parse markdown links. Parse markdown links, yes. But we're not hitting replace markdown link. Really? What? Link enabled undefined. If link enabled is not equal undefined. Me confused. What is going on? Oh, it's a SudokuCon, but RE. Oh, it's a SudokuCon. That doesn't go through this one. Jesus. Okay, this is getting parsed in a different way. Enabled link. Enabled link is unequal to undefined. RE markdown domain. So it's wait a second. So we kind of want to break this down into separate steps so I can log it out in between. So we kind of want to do this and as two separate executions. And then we want to do this and this. Wait a second. It's already HTML in here? Okay, so then it's a completely different bug. No, it's not HTML yet. But it's already been converted at this stage, at that first stage. Parse markdown links. So text HTML, parse markdown links. Ah. God damn it. So I think we have to exclude double quotes. The problem is, I don't trust myself that this will be good enough. But maybe we can do the same thing here, right? So we're kind of doing the same thing here as we did earlier. So if I make this a function and out do this, right? Alright, so console log, place link. Right, so if we do that, is that gonna output something useful here? So we've got this. So it doesn't match on SudokuCon. Okay, so we can do the same link escaping here as we did it up here. Okay. So that we have this and we have this. So that's what comes out of the regex. Undefined. Wait, the regex matches. Okay, it either matches the first or the second. Okay, so this gives us either one. So if I now run it through this, it should be. It should ensure this is a valid URL again. So if I say let URL equals this thing, right? And then we'll do that. And that basically effectively will escape this monster. And it'll become this. So we kind of want to have a function here. We'll do something like const escape URL. Right? And it'll basically just be this. And then here, we're actually just going to do escape URL instead. And we'll do the same thing down here. Actually, we'll put it here. And then we'll actually comment this out. And now it becomes part of the URL. And it doesn't do any crazy hovering anymore, and it just breaks the URL. Sweet. And I think that's the correct fix. Alright, and it should not care about any of this stuff. And I should be able to just port that back to this. Like that. Get rid of that. And the diff should actually be quite small. Once I've cleaned it up. Yeah. So we've added the escape URL function here. And then we modified these two. Don't like it's doing this, but if I move escape URL higher up, maybe. Sanitize above sanitize, maybe. Like here. Yeah. It deals better with it. Actually, I don't mind having it here. Cool. And that should fix that. Wish I would have figured that out before I pushed the release, but it's okay. It's all right. All right, I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm getting, like, my eyes are getting closed for me. Long week, long couple of weeks actually. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, so... Ooh, let me see, what are you saying? I was thinking about making Samurai Sudoku with additional other variants of 999, 4x4s. Yep. So I'm sorry if I've not been super communicative, but there's a couple of behind the scenes things I need to figure out that are kind of critical for what's happening with SudokuPad in the future. So kind of important stuff that I need to sort out, and can't really be super public about at the moment. But hopefully I'll have announcements. Well, I won't have announcements for a while, but I'll be able to talk about it a bit. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna push this patch tomorrow, and I'm gonna continue working on the layout stuff first thing tomorrow as well. Yeah, not an exciting episode, but you know, so the layout stuff for Project 9.9 is kind of urgent, and I really gotta get this done. And it's kind of custom layouts is kind of a big deal that'll enable lots of other sort of related things. All right, that's it for now. Take care. Thanks for hanging out, and have a good rest of your day, however long it may still be for you. Take care. Bye-bye.